So Jacques is sitting at his desk at Apex Financial Group, right? It is 8:14 in the morning. He is a senior wealth advisor managing hundreds of millions of dollars in client assets. He has a paper financial analysis brief open on his desk, full of complex market data. He is reading line by line, deeply focused, but he has not touched his optical mouse in exactly 300 seconds.
300 seconds. 5 whole minutes without moving the plastic.
5 minutes. And on the 40th floor, on Karen in HR's central monitoring screen, his little status light silently flips from green to yellow. Away. And within 12 seconds, an automated email hits his inbox. Active motion alert. Your terminal is non-responsive. Please confirm your work status.
Unbelievable. He is literally analyzing millions of dollars of client funds, and the corporate surveillance state treats him like an absconded fugitive because a status dot turned yellow.
It is total surveillance theater. I am Lachlan Reed, by the way, along with Emily Colver. And look, if you enjoy us pulling back the curtain on corporate nonsense, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share this episode with anyone who has ever suffered through a 90-minute meeting about meetings.
Yes, subscribe right now so you never miss our deep dives into workplace absurdity. Because what Jacques does next is, it is pure guerrilla warfare.
He does not panic. He calls down to Sebastian in IT, or rather, he walks down to the basement, off the grid, and Sebastian just reaches into a drawer under his desk, pulls out a little cardboard box, and drops a $12 device onto the desk. A mechanical mouse jiggler bought off Amazon.
A $12 USB turntable. That is incredible. A tiny plastic rotating platter that just spins an optical mouse in continuous 2mm circles all day long.
2mm back and forth loops. Non-stop. So while Jacques goes for a walk, reads market reports on paper, or cooks lunch, his internal dashboard status stays bright green. The system thinks he is moving his cursor violently from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. like a titan of industry.
It is the ultimate counterweapon. A $12 piece of rotating plastic defeating a multi-million-dollar surveillance system. Because management measures mouse physics instead of actual financial results.
Exactly. But as you can imagine, corporate upper management was not going to let a $12 Amazon hack go unnoticed forever.
So what happens when Executive Brent and his 6-figure consultant Trevor catch wind of this?
Oh, Brent brings in Trevor to run a full, deep forensic motion audit. They do not look at whether client portfolios made money. No. They deploy deep network telemetry to analyze cursor motion vectors across the entire wealth management division.
Cursor motion vectors? They literally hired a 6-figure consultant to plot geometry on mouse movements?
Yes. And they find that dozens of senior advisors have cursors moving in perfect, mechanical, 2mm back and forth loops for 14 hours straight. They realize it is a coordinated plastic revolt. So HR launches a nuclear purge, terminating advisors on the spot and filing disclosures with regulators.
Wait, that is not just a made-up story at Apex, is it? That actually happened in real life on Wall Street.
It did. In June 2024, regulatory disclosures with FINRA revealed that banking giant fired over a dozen wealth and investment management personnel. The official filings specifically detailed allegations involving simulation of keyboard activity, creating impression of active work.
Over a dozen wealth management employees fired at that company for simulating keyboard activity, creating impression of active work? They were literally alleging that people were lying about actually being at their desks.
Right. They fired over a dozen employees alleging that they were lying about actually being at their desks. Think about how upside down that is. You have elite investment advisors who are evaluated not on whether their clients earned a 10% return, but on whether their mouse cursor wiggled every 300 seconds.
It is the total failure of Bossware metrics. When you measure input proxies like active motion or team status lights, you get fake activity. People will buy $12 gadgets to look busy because the system punishes real deep thought.
It rewards the illusion of labor. If you sit there staring blankly at a screen, clicking randomly, you are a star employee. If you sit back to read a complex 60-page contract without touching the mouse, you are red alerted on Karen's dashboard.
And this whole mess at that large national company in Apex leads directly to an even bigger problem sweeping across every modern industry right now: the illusion of keeping a human in the loop. Okay, so break down this human in the loop concept, because every enterprise software vendor promises that AI is totally safe because a human is sitting right there at the controls.
Right. Think of it like an executive chef running a top-tier restaurant kitchen, okay? The chef stands at the pass, inspecting every single plate before it leaves the kitchen. If a line cook burns a steak or forgets a garnish, the chef catches it instantly. That works because human speed matches kitchen speed. Maybe 20 dishes a minute.
Right. 20 plates per minute is within human cognitive bandwidth.
Now upgrade that kitchen with hyper-automated robotic assembly lines that churn out 2,000 complex dishes every single minute. And the restaurant board says, "Do not worry, our master chef is still standing at the pass. He is in the loop."
At 2,000 dishes a minute, the chef is not inspecting anything. He is just a human stamp machine flailing his arm up and down as plates fly past at machine speed.
He completely stops looking. He stamps approval slips blindly as plates blur past. The human has been transformed from an active inspector into a mechanical rubber stamp. And that is exactly what is happening with AI co-pilots in healthcare, defense, and finance.
In healthcare, doctors get bombarded with thousands of AI-generated prior authorization claims and diagnostic notes per hour. Studies show physicians spend less than 1.2 seconds reviewing each AI treatment plan before clicking approve. 1.2 seconds.
1.2 seconds. They are legally in the loop, but operationally invisible. And you know, I actually felt a minor version of this just last week in my backyard shed in Sydney.
In your backyard shed? Were you installing automated Bossware on your trail bikes?
No. I was restoring an old vintage trail bike engine, right? And I brought in this fancy new digital diagnostic scanner that spits out like 50 telemetry readings per second. Sensor voltages, fuel trim ratios, timing advance. After 10 minutes of numbers flashing past at high speed, my brain just went completely numb. I stopped analyzing the numbers and just kept hitting OK, until I almost torqued a bolt right through the cylinder head. Even a kangaroo could trip over that kind of cognitive overload.
So you were mouse jiggling your own bike repair?
I was rubber stamping the diagnostic tool. And that is the trap. When a system operates with 99% accuracy, humans suffer automation complacency. We drop our guard. And when that 1% error occurs at gigahertz speed, the corporation turns around and says, "Oh, the software did not fail. The human operator failed to follow verification protocols."
It is moral liability shifting. They put the human in the loop not for safety, but as a legal shock absorber, so the board can blame a low-level worker when the algorithm hallucinates.
So picture the executive boardroom at Apex Financial. Brent is giving a 90-minute PowerPoint presentation with 40 pages of mouse motion heat maps. Trevor, the consultant, is showing KPI charts where everything is highlighted in green. And suddenly, Blake from operations walks in carrying a clipboard, along with Nancy, who actually reads the compliance binders.
I love Blake and Nancy. They never panic, they do not care about titles, and they just ask the one obvious question nobody else considered.
Nancy looks at the 40-page heat map slide, raises her hand calmly, and asks, "Are our client accounts making money, Or are we spending six figures auditing mouse physics?
Dead silence in the boardroom. Total stunned silence.
Complete silence. Brent looks at Trevor. Trevor looks at his PowerPoint deck, and neither of them has an answer, because they spent 3 weeks investigating 2-millimeter cursor loops instead of portfolio yield.
And Blake steps up and says, did anyone actually try asking the advisors why they bought the jigglers? And Nancy says, they bought them so they could read paper financial filings for 10 minutes without HR firing them.
5-minute solution. They turn off the active motion tracker, fire Trevor the consultant, and productivity immediately goes up.
Which brings us to today's Club Genius lesson.
Here is your 30-second practical takeaway for work tomorrow. When management adds layers of process complexity to solve a perceived lack of trust, do not build a counter-system to fake it. Strip away one vanity metric step and evaluate actual business output instead. If nobody can explain why a surveillance metric exists, question the metric.
If you are forced to act like a machine, common sense says rebuild the process. Do not buy a toy platter.
That is our episode. If you loved this deep dive, do us a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this episode with your favorite coworker, and drop a comment below letting us know if you have ever seen a mouse jiggler in the wild. We will see you in our next episode.
See you next time, everyone.